I believe we're going to go now to Stephen Graves, who is out reporting. Stephen, I hope you're staying safe, but what are you seeing right now and what's going on where you are?
Hey Rob, yeah, we are staying safe. We've been driving to the southwest suburbs where we had that heavy rain, but I wanted to show you right here. We're in Naperville right now on the eastern side of it. We're here on Ranch View Drive. This is in the Ranch View neighborhood. You can see right here at the entrance, there are police blocking things off. I just spoke to the fire chief who tells me there are about 12 homes that were damaged that have wind damage or tree damage down there. And when it comes to injuries, right now we're told that about 6 people had injuries, minor injuries at the time, and 4 people were taken to the hospital. And I'm going to bring in the chief right now so he can just explain to us what your crews are doing right now down there.
Sure. Well, about 11 p.m. this evening, we were called to this location, the Ranch View area of our far east side of Naperville, for a rotation of a tornado that came through our city. And we arrived on the scene and we found this whole area that was stricken by tree limbs down and debris, windows broken to many of the buildings in this area. We quickly did an assessment and noticed that there were about a dozen homes that were severely damaged from debris. About a half a dozen people injured, and 4 of those have been taken to the hospital right now for minor injuries.
Right, and right now your crews are going door to door, right?
Yeah, we are. We have we've established search teams to go door to door to make sure that there aren't any people trapped or in need of further assistance. And we also went to a second alarm ambulance box, and we're at a general alarm right now on a situation that we don't have any structure fires, so that's good news. And we do have a number of gas breaches right now, so we've got the utility companies and NICOR coming out to assess that and control that.
So right now, did you have evacuations happening? Is that what was going on? Or?
We do. Anybody that's displaced from their homes, we have Ranchview Elementary School that's been designated as a place of shelter for those folks. We also have our City Emergency Operations Center that is open. We have our Naperville Emergency Management Agency that is coordinating activities here with us at the command post in the event that the situation escalates or we have any further injuries or damage to deal with.
Okay, and you talked about the path of the tornado in terms of the damage that it left, but how big of a span of damage are we talking, and can you tell the path that the tornado might have taken?
Well, it seemed to be taking a southeastern path. It came from the northwest and it made its way through. Obviously there are many areas of the city that were damaged, but this seems to be the epicenter of the damage, and we were very fortunate that we didn't have further damage, like I said, or fires to the area.
Right, and you talked a little bit about how things could have been worse. Absolutely. But it seemed like people really heeded caution.
In a situation like this, we need to give the public a lot of credit that they took heed of the radios and the television alerts that were out there, and they did a really good job in taking shelter when they were supposed to, and I think that led to the minimal number of people that were hurt.
Okay, thank you, Chief, and good news there. And so I still see down here you have some roads shut off, and this is an arterial road essentially of the neighborhood here. And you can see some residents right now standing outside of homes. We have talked to some of them who, again, they were sheltering in place when this came through. Some said they turned on the news as soon as they heard that rain coming down, and so they were able to take caution, and thankfully they are safe. This main road, if we pan left again, you can see has a lot of police activity. Firefighters are busy really putting things into perspective, what happened here, like you heard the chief said, going door to door. So we are right here in this spot. We are not going to hamper any of those efforts, but I have seen pictures of some trees that were on the side of homes, and as well as some of those side panelings that are ripped off that where you normally see wind damage. But the good news here, people who are injured have minor injuries, no fatalities, and it seems like crews have a handle on things. Send it back to you.
And Stephen, I think both Jim and I have a couple of questions for you, but as far as what you've seen driving in, what is it that you saw until you got to that point? Was there a lot of damage, or is it all kind of concentrated in that area?
Right, and as you heard the chief said, this is sort of the epicenter of things. So as we were driving, we did see some tree limbs that were on the road. Not too big though, nothing blocking us. As we were coming from Chicago, we did see a lot of that ponding that was happening on the interstates as well as some of those side roads. So it will take some time for that to go down. But in terms of getting here, you know, we got that visibility that was really low with the rain at first, but then when you got further out to the suburbs, the storm seemed to have, you know, gotten out of the area, and as you can see right now, pretty clear, no drizzle or anything like that out here. Winds are calm as well.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that that improvement in the weather conditions as the rain is now exiting, especially in those areas. We still have some concerns into parts of northwest Indiana. Stephen Graves on the scene there. Thank you, Stephen. Stay safe as you guys exit the area and bring us more of that coverage. We want to make sure that you're avoiding the areas and letting the emergency crews do what they need to do, because I know there's a lot that's happening.